year, new firewood, let's go. For the past 2 or so years, I've burnt about 5 cords a year, and I'm really trying to get to where I have 2 years of firewood storage. So this year, I'm cheating, and I bought firewood like a putz. It's really just a time calculation for me. I love cutting firewood. I have great tools for cutting firewood. That's good for firewood. That's surprisingly good for firewood. I mean, obviously. And a smattering of chainsaws. Really, really do enjoy it. But I just don't have enough time to do everything that I want to do. And if I can spend a little bit of money, buy me a lot of time, it's worth it to me. I'm buying 2 loads from a local firewood producer who sells green wood for $280 a load. The load it's a full dump truck load. I think it's a little over 2 cords, which should fill up about 6 baskets. We'll see. So 2 of those loads will be 12 baskets. I just got 2 more totes. So I'm trying to put up 22 totes. I think that's like, if I get 22 totes, that's every single tote I have filled up. If I can do that, that will be awesome. I need to get my saws set up. So these are the 3 saws I use for cutting firewood. This is a Echo CS590, which is probably my favorite. This is a Husqvarna 460 Rancher, which I'm pretty lukewarm on. And then this is a Holtziforma G660. This is a Chinese clone saw of a Stihl MS660. There's a video on my channel about it. I'm super pumped about it. So it's currently got a 36-inch bar on it, which is really just too much of a good thing. So I got a 20-inch bar on Amazon, and that's what I'm gonna do first, swap those out. So one of my favorite things about these Chinese saws is they're just funny. Like, this is a Thundercut, which is, like, I mean, quite frankly, a great name. Scrunch. Here's a worthwhile tip. These are called like Ranger bands or something. It's basically a cut up inner tube. If you can get it like that, it'll just keep your chain on your bar and just make your life easier. This is a plywood scabbard I made for this saw that I made for this bar when I had my old saw, which got stolen. So I replaced this one with it. A Thundercut. Spyderco Manix 2 Lightweight in S110V in the pocket today. Love this knife. Nice sharp new chain. Now there are people exceptionally good at unraveling new chainsaw chains, and I am not normally one of those people, although that went pretty good. Wow, that is so much more manageable, unsurprisingly, with a short bar on it. I probably haven't started this saw since January, so 6 months. Let's make sure it rips. Oh, there it goes. This saw is technically still in its break-in period, which you're supposed to run like really rich mix through. It's just getting the standard 50 to 1. And oil. The last one of these I had leaked oil pretty bad. This one hasn't. It's cold enough that bar and chain oil don't really want to flow too good. I steal the bar cover off of my little Echo top handle. This one. If you've never had a top handle saw, they are really great. I've used this one a lot. I had to rebuild it last year. The carb had some stuff in it from when I bought it. I bought it used. And they're just awesome. They're super handy. It's so nice to be able to cut with one hand safely, like hold on to something and cut it. Highly recommend one. I haven't started this saw in a hot minute. Fire's right up. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Just buy non-ethanol gas and put Sta-Bil in it, and it's just worth it. That's good. I just put fuel into the bar and chain oil. That was really dumb. Good thing it was on camera. The internet says I shouldn't worry about it. But the fun thing about being on YouTube is if this catches on fire and explodes, it'll be on camera in 4K. This saw is good to go. All right, now on to my favorite saw. The last time I was cutting with it, it didn't feel quite right, which probably means I need to touch the raker. I think the Echo CS590 may be the best value in chainsaws, particularly with what you can get them for used. I paid $225 for the saw with 2 extra chains. If you've never filed on a saw chain, it's really not that complicated. You want to mark the tooth you start on. Hey, I was just looking through my chainsaw kit, and this is your friendly reminder. Put a tourniquet in there. These are not expensive. This is a combat application tourniquet from North American Rescue. These are the good ones. Have one of these. This is like $30 that could save your life. I have a good friend of mine that's been in a pretty nasty chainsaw accident. Just put it in your kit. There's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of people trying to tell you and sell you different gizmos and gadgets for sharpening a chainsaw, and I have some of them. And really, if you can just figure out the round file and learn how to touch your rakers when they need it, I think people have built this skill up to be something way more than it is, which is just a little bit of a learning curve to learn a valuable skill for the rest of your life. Like, it's just worth it. Just figure it out. And some people be like, well, I can get them sharpened at the hardware store for $5. Well, you know, you still got to drive down there. What happens if the hardware store's closed? Oh, yowza. That's a nice one. Sometimes I even astound myself. All humility aside, that's a really sharp saw. One of the best sharpening jobs I've ever done. Well, that's saw prep done. 3 saws, ready to rock. I'm gonna clean up and go to sleep. I'm probably gonna need some gloves today. Here is all the firewood that I got delivered for $280. It's a lot of wood. And it's gonna be more than these 4 totes, but I've got these right here. So I'm gonna fill them up, see how long that takes for one. There's one tote that took about 11 minutes, which is actually a little less than I would have thought if you had asked me. So let's keep stacking. 1, 2. That one might have taken a little longer. That's 3. So if I get 7 totes out of one of these loads and I get 2 loads, it'll give me 14. Then I'll only need to make 8 totes of firewood and I'll be out of totes, I think. And I'll have plenty of wood. There's a lot of stacking. All right, that's 4. Still a lot of this pile left. This is at least 7, maybe 8 totes. It's a lot of wood. And my new stove's here. I'll tell you what, delivery drivers love it when you tell them you got a tractor with pallet forks on it. Z-line. The wood that I have for this year. These are all new. Let's go stack up some more firewood. 5 and 6. Still got a pretty significant pile here. This is more than a tote, I believe. Firewood delivered and split at your house for $40 a tote. I mean, whew. That's a really good deal. Really, I mean, a really good deal. All right, 7th and final one. I got 7 totes out of 1 load for $280, so $40 a tote. That's really compelling. And I love cutting firewood. If I didn't like cutting firewood, I'd never cut firewood again. It's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of wood for $280. And it's split how I like. It's split in the size of pieces I like, and it's all hardwood, and I'm really happy with it. So I'm gonna go take this up and stack it. I'm gonna get inside because it's going to be the low teens tonight. You can already feel it coming. It's chilly. Here's just a quick reminder. If you think I've got some things you might be interested in, I'd be honored if you subscribe, liked, comment, interact with the videos. I really enjoy that, and it helps the channel grow. And I want the channel to grow. So it's hot out, it's getting warm. It's like really, really cold for a few weeks. It's a little warm right now. It made me realize, golly, I'm gonna finish firewood. I gotta do it now. I'm gonna take my little wheel horse down to the wood yard. All the wood I have stacked up in my wood pile. This is I'm not getting any more wood than this for this season. So I'm just gonna get this bucked up. I'm gonna try and get everything bucked up and then get the splitter out here and get her done. Let's get bucked up. Just buck it, dude, just buck it. Big chaps guy. Holds form at G660. She's a ripper. That's an intoxicating amount of power. The 20-inch bar and chain makes a big difference in the usability of this saw. Oops. So I'm gonna go get the splitter and get a tote, start filling it on up. One of the things you might want to consider doing to make your life a little easier, literally everything that's not a heavy trailer, just do 2-inch balls. Gotten rid of every 1 7/8 inch receiver and hitch and anything in my life. Do 2 inches, it's just better. Whole tote is filled up with pig nut hickory, which I've burned a lot of this year and makes really excellent firewood. It's gonna start raining here in a little while. I can get 2 more totes done today. That'd be really good. That means I could finish tomorrow. When I bought this splitter with my dad, I took it very serious and I said, Dad, I will buy the splitter with you if you solemnly swear to never put gas with ethanol in it. Cleaning carbs is no fun. There's another full tote again. Right about half a tank of gas. I get 2 totes out of 1 tank of gas on this splitter. So that's right over a cord of wood, just right at it. Cord of wood is a volumetric measurement. That's a tightly stacked pile, 4 feet by 4 feet by 8, 128 cubic feet. This is a solid amount of wood. Where I am, seasoned cords are anywhere from $250 to $350. I made 1 more tote. Got up all the little stuff that was cut last year back here. Some of it's got some fungus. It'll burn. What a lovely 60-degree day, beginning of February. My goal was to finish my firewood by the end of January. I'm gonna miss that by a few days. Today we're stacking wood. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. All right, that's 2. Nice little dent in the pile. Tractor did a regen during when I was moving the first 2 totes, so I moved the other 4 that I split the other day. I think I decided while I was doing that, I think I'm gonna take this pile, I'm gonna fill up my totes with it, and I think I'm gonna be done. It's more than I've ever split, it's more than firewood than I've ever had, and there's just so much to do. This is one of the totes I've had kind of in reserve for a little while, and I'm gonna show you how I get them ready for firewood. First thing you do is you take these out, then you got these bars and some hardware. I save these because I've actually built some cool stuff out of them. Then I take an angle grinder. I'll cut these 3 across, and then these 3, and that lets you get down in it. And then, not that you would ever do this with a cutoff wheel, you know, I like to kind of dress up these edges. That's pretty much all there is to it. Pretty simple, pretty easy. All right, that's number 6. Tired of stacking firewood today, and I want to hang out with my daughters. Have one more 330-gallon tote that's most of the way full. I'm gonna cut the rest of the firewood to fill it up tomorrow. I'm going to do one of my favorite things. I love axes, and I love swinging one. And this is one of the finest splitting implements ever made. A Fiskars. I think this is the X35. I'm not sure. It could do a quick filing. To some extent, you don't really want a splitting axe to be super sharp. That's just a little edge maintenance. If you let it go too far, it takes a lot more work to get it back. And when it's sharper, it bites better, which I think is safer. Do you want to take the burr off? Burrs are bad. Don't want burrs. So when I say burrs, some people call them wire edge. But burrs are when 2 planes of metal meet on such a fine scale that they can't get any closer. One side starts to kind of curl over the other. And if you run your thumb along the opposite side that you were just sharpening, you can feel it. No more burr. It's actually pretty sharp. Life's too short for dull edges. I mean, that only took about legitimately 2 minutes. I think a lot of people make sharpening a little too complicated. All you really gotta do is get a burr, polish whatever level of polish you wanna do, and then get that burr gone. All it is. Does not matter how you do it. But if you do that, you will have a sharp edge. Like this was a mill bastard file and a strop, and you saw what it did to that paper. It's pretty sharp. This is kind of a little life hack. Little piece of PVC with a slit cut in it, pushed onto the edge like so. It's not the best sheath in the world, but it's a lot better than nothing. Beautiful day. Time to finish the firewood. Thumbs on. I'm gonna get the gear. I'm so conflicted on this thing. It's a nice tool to have sometimes, but I also kind of hate it because I get, quite frankly, a little scary every time I use it, just because it's not very stable. It's not wide enough. I don't think there's enough weight in the rear end of it. But I will say, that's a very pleasant experience, very nice way to cut up some poles. If I had 2 people, if I had any friends, that would be much, much, much more efficient. Man, I love swinging an axe. I also think that was probably faster for this type of wood to do by hand than with the splitter. I think my cycle times just swinging the axe were faster. And I don't think I had to hit anything twice because this stuff is so small. And I'm so strong, you know, that's so strong. You know, I'm a little conflicted. On the one hand, I love cutting firewood, and it brings me joy. I love everything about it. The smells, the sounds, the tools, the exercise. I've always enjoyed it, even since I was a boy. But as I'm getting older and I have more responsibilities and children and families and all the other things I'm doing on my homestead, I may never cut firewood again. That's really dramatic. And 100% not true. Once you start looking at your time and how little you have, I'm a lot better at making money than I am at making firewood. There's just so much to do. YouTube doesn't really help, but I really enjoy it. One of the things I really like about the ability to heat with wood is you're a lot more in control of if your house is warm or not. Whatever it is, you've got firewood put up, you're safe and warm, and your family's safe and warm. Firewood production for the burning season of 2025 is done. Feels good, bro. Hey, Doug. Doug got a haircut. Hey, Boomer. Laying in the sun. What's up, boy? I love these dogs. Here's the orchard I planted in a previous video. Great project. Here's all the firewood. 20 full totes. That feels pretty darn good. This is the most wood I've ever had. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I've got a lot of good stuff coming up. The best of the spring is going to be gardening, perennials, turkeys, meat birds, building stuff. A lot of good stuff coming. Stay tuned for more. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next video.